Hey, everybody out there. My name is Danny K, and this is Off the Chain, where we talk all things blockchain. Today, I'm going to talk about Golem token GNT, what it is and what it does, and how it will help you. Essentially, Golem is a decentralized blockchain technology and token that aims at being able to provide and share unused idle computing power to help solve large mathematical, scientific, and graphical issues. So what do I mean by that? Well, one could say one computer to rule them all, but I won't, because that's not what's going on here. What they hope to do is that, say that you have a computer at home that you don't use that often. It's just sitting there, it's on. Well, you can set up the Golem network to allow other individuals to bid and pay for your unused GPU computing power at a competitive market rate that benefits you and benefits the end user that is requesting your computing power. So in other words, generally, Golem allows people to monetize and create value on their unused computing power. And essentially, Golem helps you put your computer power into money. You can loan out your computer resources and assets, and when you're currently not using it, and it converts your idle power into actual work. GNT, or Golem Network Token, is the actual unit of measurement and value that one actually gets paid for in the rental space of your GPU power. So the Golem team is actually led by Julian Zawatsky. I'm terrible with names, so Julian Zawatsky. Sorry if I'm butchering that name. And the version was first launched in 2016 in August. So basically, like I said before, Golem is a decentralized network of global computing machines that rent out unused and idle computing power and space to help solve real-world, large-scale computing problems. So how does Golem work? So in a nutshell, the way that this works is that a requester will provide a provider with a task template. This basically, in a way, is a billing contract, I guess is the simplest way to describe it. They will basically have a contract written out describing the type of transactions that they're trying to accomplish, the type of processing they're trying to accomplish, how much processing power they estimate it's going to be, and a price at which they are willing to pay for that processing power rental. A provider will then come in, check the terms of the template, of the task template, make sure that they agree on the price, and then provide a secure direct connection that will allow this data to be transferred in this computing power to be used, and then data transferred back to the requester. At which point, once the task is completed and the connection has ceased, a smart contract, an Ethereum smart contract, will be generated and executed to arrange the payment to the provider who rented it out. So the way that that data gets transferred is transferred through a protocol called AIPFS, or Interplanetary File Systems. And this is kind of a way, imagine it's similar to something like a file transfer program or like a torrenting program, but it is a more decentralized means of sending that data back and forth between the connected network. It is a direct connection made between the provider and the requester. And one of the benefits of using this protocol is that it allows for large data to be sent quickly and securely, and that the way that this connection is set up, it is pretty immutable to DDoS attacks or man-in-the-middle attacks, thus not sending, corrupting, or exposing any of the data that is being transferred between the two parties. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, I understand why a provider would want to rent out their unused computing space and, make some money. all great, but why would somebody want that computing power? What are the use cases of this? And well, there's actually quite a few, and for the most part, a lot of them are for corporate level or business level applications, and not necessarily consumer level. A lot of the things for this is kind of when you are trying to process very data heavy transactions or applications, or if you're trying to run multiple tasks at once and it's very task heavy. Just to name a couple of things that it is currently being used for, something like, imagine like CGI rendering or video effects rendering, right? If you have a massive IMAX movie and it's very computer animated and CGI heavy, computer on the Golem network can go ahead and rent out additional GPU powers to help render this process in small packets and send that back to the end user and requester, making the process go a lot faster and smoothly. Some of the other things that it does is kind of this is kind of the same vein, but photography or videography reconstruction. Another thing that it's actually being used in the scientific community for things like running artificial simulations, running like mathematical theories and algorithms to kind of conclude outcomes of different medications and genome mapping or gene editing. It's a very, very task-heavy process to kind of render and register all of the steps within, say, something like a gene editing program, and being able to outsource your computing power and then have it all come together seamlessly and safely is extremely valuable, because it cuts down the amount of time that it takes to create this. It cuts down the amount of energy cost that it is required to make this. So it is very beneficial when you're running these kind of large grade simulations. This looks like a great way to help pool together resources and energy to help solve those large task-heavy applications at a much faster and successful rate. So personally, I feel like this could be something that we would see a lot of application to be used on in the business sector and in the scientific community, definitely. And because of that to me, that seems very fascinating and interesting, and that's something that I would like to watch closely. So with that being said, now that you know a little bit more about Golem, what it is and what it's hoping to achieve in the future, let's take a look at where it stands from a financial perspective. Like I said, Golem was launched in August of 2016. It had a creation of 1 billion tokens. Currently, there's a circulating supply of 960 million. It reached an all-time high of $1.25 back in January of 2018 during the massive bull run. Currently is suffering around 95% drop from that all-time high and sitting at 0.6 or 6.5 cents per token, depending on the exchange. It has a number of trading pairs on all sorts of different exchanges. Been around for quite some time compared to a lot of the other coins and tokens and platforms that are out there. So that is good going for it. Recently got listed on Coinbase. Whether you love or hate them, Coinbase does tend to have a bit of edge in my eyes in terms of playing it safe from a regulatory perspective. So I think that is something to note. Coinbase doesn't just list any old coin, at least as of now. We'll see how that goes in the future. Overall, the market cap right now is about $62 million based off of that circulating supply. And I don't know, to me, it seems like a pretty interesting and solid project that they are trying to help change the world and help advance things. And personally, I'm a big nerd on science, so the fact that it is used to help further the scientific community, to me, I like that. I think, that's great. Science is going to help us not destroy ourselves, or maybe it will. Who knows? You never know. So with Golem being one of the older tokens, being back in 2016, I think it definitely has a competitive advantage in that point, as well as being listed on Coinbase, whether you love or hate them. To me, I think it's a really great project. It helps individuals make money by using unused computing power, which I think is a very interesting concept, and incentivizes people to join the network so they can, make a little extra money on the side, as well as the fact that it is helpful and useful in scientific communities means quite a bit to me. I think that is a really cool use case for, a decentralized blockchain, is to help further the search for whether it be cures or solutions to mathematical problems, medical problems, curing diseases, things of that nature. So it's very fascinating to me, and this is definitely a coin that I'm going to be watching over the next couple of months. And currently, I do not own any, but I do plan to make some type of investment in this project when I think the bear market is over, whether that be 1 week from now or 1 year from now. But that being said, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. You made it to the end of this video. If you could, give it a like, give it a comment, or subscribe, or get the bell on, or do all of those things. It really helps me out, helps grow the channel, helps grow the community that I'm hoping to build. And what are your thoughts on Golem? Do you think it's a good project? Do you think it's nothing but vaporware and isn't really going to go anywhere? Do you know of any competitors that are doing something similar that you think have a better competitive edge against Golem? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Love to start a little discourse with each other. And thanks for tuning in. Again, my name is Danny K. This is Off the Chain, where we talk all things blockchain. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.